There are so many things you want to buy, like the new iPhone, a nice car, ticking off our travel bucket list, a dreamy wedding, a beautiful double-story house for our family, etc. But saving enough for all of them seems impossible, especially now with reports stating that the main concern of Malaysians is the cost of living. And yet, according to JobStreet Malaysia's latest salary guide, almost all 97.3% job ads in Malaysia had salaries that remain unchanged from the previous year, barely keeping up with inflation. So how do we navigate this situation? Well, we all start with personal finance. I started working back in 2018 right after I graduated, living on 3,000 ringgit a month in a small rented apartment room in KL and barely saving enough money to go by. And just like most graduates, I had a typical 9 to 6 job. Well, 9 to 9 to be exact, including the commuting and also overtimes. Life seemed aimless, and to be honest, I had zero idea what I wanted to do in life, except for working very hard on the job because that was what I was told to do. But that was not until COVID hit and everything changed.
China has identified the cause of the mysterious new virus.
Coronavirus.
There are fears a rapidly spreading virus has reached Australia.
I had the time and opportunity to reflect and kind of understand the concept of how money works in relation to time. So I started selling my time by working on 2 freelance jobs at night. One video editing gig from freelancing.my and another Instagram content creation from Upwork. These 2 jobs in total gave me around 1,000 to 1,500 ringgit a month, which was not much in the large scale of things, but it was almost half my monthly salary and enough to cover basics like rent and utilities. And with the extra savings, I got a MacBook and I started diving deeper into productivity, finance, and also content creations, as well as applying all the skills I had learned into building this particular YouTube channel. And fast forward 3.5 years later, here we are today with a team of 10 people and a business that generates more than 7 figures in annual turnover, and very soon our very own office in the city center. So if you're unsure what to do with your finances or just felt stuck with your 9 to 6 job, trust me when I say this, I know what you're going through. So screw gatekeeping and paid courses. I'm going to share you all the fundamentals of personal finance for absolutely free. And I promise I won't upsell you any paid courses because I have none to begin with. So here are the 4 main components that I would prioritize for my personal finance. Firstly, net worth, i.e. measuring your wealth. Second, emergency funds, i.e. minimizing your risk. Thirdly, budgeting, which is cash flow control. And fourth, investing, which is growing your money. Let's start with the first one, net worth. Basically, to gain more wealth or net worth, you need increased income plus decreased spending. It's as simple as that. Let's break it down one by one. Increased income. This is all about boosting what you earn, getting a little extra on the top, and it could be through a higher salary, side hustles, freelancing, or even smart investments that bring in regular returns. I like to imagine as planting seeds in a garden where each seed is a potential source of income, and the more you plant, the more you can harvest, right? And the most important part is to find ways to add more seeds, i.e. get more streams of income. I know it sounds very easy to say it, but man, can I tell you, it's no walk in the park. But the satisfaction of watching your income grow over time, or finally knowing you can buy anything off the shelf or just anything off Shopee without even looking at its price tag is certainly unbeatable. And like I mentioned before, I started by selling my time. I'm no genius and I'm certainly not sponsored by daddy and mommy, so you can do it too, simply by first finding your hourly rate. Let's take my previous experience as an example. My gross salary at the time was 3,000 ringgit a month, so to find my annual income, we'll just need to take 3,000 times 12 months, and that's 36,000 ringgit a year gross income. And that divided by the typical number of hours of work in a year, or about 1,900 hours. That would equate to about 20 ringgit or just $5 an hour, which is a very typical starters rate you would find on most freelancing platforms. And there are many types of gigs you can find for your skills. It could be design, writing, research, or even AI related ones. In fact, over the past 4 years, there has been a massive 75% surge in AI related job opportunities. So take some time out of your day to learn about AI prompting, like getting good at ChatGPT or image generation with DALL-E, and over time you will definitely have a massive advantage in landing a gig or even a professional full-time job down the road. There are so many free videos and playlists on YouTube that can teach you everything you will need to know about photo and video editing, design, even coding, and that will open doors for you into web development, software development, and even game development in the future. Back then, after my day job, I would start my freelance work from 10 PM onwards, and on good days, I would end at 12 AM. And on busy days, I will end at 4 AM. So I will mostly suggest arranging your availability at evening to night time. That extra 3 to 4 hours that you can squeeze out every day, yes, that's the golden hour to upskill yourself and also sell your time. And from my experience, I found freelance jobs on Fiverr, Upwork, freelance groups on Facebook, and also Laoyat forum. You might or might not find them at the same place as I do, so just keep searching online. Plus, nowadays, for any digital marketing skill, you can pretty much actually approach a content creator like myself or businesses through their social media platforms directly, or via their LinkedIn profile. And I'm sure if you can craft a portfolio that showcases your skills and value you can bring to them, which you can do it easily via all the online tools like Canva, they will at least respond with a yes or a no thanks. And it's totally fine to be rejected 3, 5, 10 or as many times that you need, because you can learn from their feedback and tune your portfolio accordingly for your next tries. And I'm sure one of them will land on someone's consideration. And once you start landing jobs, I urge you to try to be a problem solver, not a robot, because when you solve problems, it saves time for your employer, meaning more money to earn for them, and in turn, more money will be paid to you. If you can solve problems beyond your assigned skill set, it will be even better. Say if your assigned job is creating content on Instagram, you should ideally think out of the box to improve social media presence over other platforms as well, like pitch ideas on short videos or even branding. And by giving this additional value, you will be paid more and hopefully promoted. My point is, just start, be it for $5 or even working for free. Just start working and building your portfolio. They will add up and your skill will be worth more over time. It's fine not to know what you're going to do or what you're good at, but it's not fine to be lazy. And don't buy into the idea of, you're just so lucky. Well, if you define luck as working until 4 AM in the morning and then waking up at 9 AM to repeat that routine every single day, or working in the office cafe while all your colleagues go out for a 2 hours lunch for the past 3.5 years, then yes, maybe I was lucky. Anyways, don't forget to also invest in your productivity. Buy a good computer like a MacBook to boost your productivity. I'm using a 17,000 ringgit spec'd out M1 Max 16-inch MacBook Pro to run my entire business today. But as for you, just start with the most cheapest one with the base M1 chip and that will do. And back in the days, I started with an Intel chip MacBook Air, so you definitely no need anything fancy. Or you can also invest in an ergonomic work setup to help you work longer hours. I started with a 250 ringgit IKEA chair, and 1 year later, I upgraded it to a 2,000 ringgit Circulab chair. And fast forward to now, I'm now sitting on a 7,000 ringgit Herman Miller Aeron, the same chair that Google uses in their office, or the same chair that President Barack Obama uses in the White House. Or you can, also subscribe to useful softwares to unlock higher quality work. ChatGPT, Canva, Final Cut Pro, Adobe Photoshop, Premiere Pro, After Effects, whatever it is. 1% improvement here and there and there and there will end up boosting your overall productivity by a significant amount. And trust me when I say this, it will all ultimately manifest itself into more pay. That's just the way it is. And don't underestimate yourself, because small things can have a massive impact. If you get 1% better each day for 1 year, you will end up 37 times better by the time you are done. Just rinse and repeat that, and this sentence still resonates with me even until today. Keep repeating these practices until you find your strong suit or have improved your skill to a higher value, because that's when you can also increase your hourly rate and in turn get more money. So that 20 ringgit rate we mentioned before can turn to 30 ringgit, 50 ringgit or even 100 ringgit if you have become a pro. I can almost guarantee you that will happen. Just that it will take time and a lot of hard work. But keep in mind, just earning more is not the whole story, because the next part, decrease spending. This is where you become a smart spender. It doesn't mean being stingy or cutting out all the fun or collecting those stupid 5 ringgit vouchers. No. Don't waste your time on those petty stuff. I strongly believe that we as a human still deserve to slightly spoil ourselves if possible. But the rule is we must be wise with where that money goes. It's like having a leaky bucket. No matter how much water you put in, your income in this case, if there are holes leaking water out, i.e. the unnecessary expenses like going out for drinks or unreasonably expensive life and medical insurance with some stupid investment scheme tied to it because your mom or auntie said you need it, sad to say you won't get far. So we got to patch up these holes. Maybe cook at home instead of dining out every single day, or opt for a budget friendly holiday instead of splurging on luxury retreat, or also take some effort to research up the appropriate way to insure yourself and invest your money. Don't just get complacent and pay unnecessary fees to make others rich instead of yourself. Small changes, big impact. And this is just my unpopular opinion, but personally, I am not a fan of holidays because of its heavy price tag. At least not until you have found a strong footing in generating steady income and have a lot of disposable income. Then I have nothing to say about that lah, you do you. You see, overseas travel can easily cost up to 5 digits if you fly anywhere more than 3 hours away from your home country. And that amount of money can set you back for a few months and even years. And those time wasted are so precious to your progress. Personally, I never traveled much apart from Southeast Asian countries. Definitely not the most ideal way to go through your 20s, but we all got to make do with what we have, right? No point chasing whatever social media is showing you. Those are just people's highlights. Just keep your head down and work very hard, and eventually you can travel more than those people down the road. In fact, my partner and I, we just came back from an 11-day trip to Japan that cost me nearly 30,000 ringgit, and I didn't even feel it. You see, I'm not a genius whatsoever, but hey, I've done it and you can too. If you say you need to wind down and just chill from life, chill what? Chill when you're broke? Chill when you have accomplished nothing? If you need to rest your mind and body, go sleep, or go exercise, or go work out, go to a gym, or spend time with your friends and family. Not travel to Turkey or Paris or London. Leave that to someone else until you have made it. And another unnecessary expense I find is unnecessary social gatherings, especially when your finances are tight. Social meetings eat up a lot of time and money, and I'm not saying you cannot socialize at all, you can, but I'm recommending you to arrange them wisely. If you have moved out and are staying away from home, there's no need to make a trip to your parents' house every single weekend or your friends' houses every 2 weeks, unless you are born with a silver spoon. If you want to shift away from being broke or staying mediocre or barely surviving with your income, you ultimately need to make the necessary sacrifices, and unfortunately, most of the time, it is at the expense of your social life or relaxing hours. The opportunity cost of choosing these expensive leisure activities would be you earning more by learning to upskilling or selling time. So when you combine these two, increase income and decrease spending, you are not just saving money, you are ultimately increasing your net worth, which means building your wealth. It's simple yet powerful, and the best part is anyone can apply it. It doesn't matter if you're a college student with a part-time job, or someone that has not done well in their studies, or if you're working a typical 9 to 6 job like I did back then. These principles are universal. Now, the next component to prioritize is to have an emergency fund, i.e. minimizing the risk you are taking. This will become your financial backbone that gives you peace of mind and allows you to take more calculated risks for better returns. Who knows, if one day, touch wood, we kena medical illness or car accident or theft and burglary, or we get fired from our job, then how? That's why it's always good to have some financial backup. I've mentioned in my previous video that the general rule of thumb for emergency funds was to save 3 to 6 months worth of expenses. But there are actually better ways to do that rather than keeping 6 months worth of cash just sitting in your bank account and doing nothing. Check out that video right over here. Basically, apart from saving pure cash, you can also apply for backup funds in the form of credit cards, personal loans, or even having medical insurance for all the unexpected emergencies. And just for your info, the typical cost of medical emergencies with the private hospitals can easily cost you upwards of 50,000 ringgit. Yeah, talk about being unfortunate twice in a row. So this is where medical cards come in, and depending on your age, on average, you will only need to pay about 2,000 ringgit per year for the typical ones, and that's about less than 200 ringgit a month. But that would give you about 1 million ringgit of coverage every year. In other words, you will be leveraging 500 times your money. So money is technically working 500 times harder for you. Plus, you get the peace of mind and financial security in case anything bad happens to you. Of course, you would burn the premium paid, but at least it's a very strong financial leverage, and basically you are paying to minimize, if not eliminate, the downside risk, and all you have to do now is focus solely on the upside gains, and I would say that's a very good return on investment. And as for other issues that will require instant cash, I would usually use my cash savings account or any form of fund that prioritizes liquidity over return, because that's the fastest way for me to have cash in hand. Credit cards in general are a perfect example of this. If you have won and maintain a good credit score, you will be rewarded with a higher credit limit, which means you have a higher amount of instant cash whenever you need it for any emergencies or just life purchases. Plus, getting loans would be so much easier, and trust me when I say this, your partner will thank you for that in the future. If you have no idea about which credit card to even start with, check out our video right over here. Now, we have learned the equation to grow our net worth, and we have got a solid emergency fund backing us. We now need to manage our monthly income or cash flow, or in other words, have a budget. But before we dive into this, I'd like to introduce you to something called the 80-20 rule, also known as the Pareto principle. In simple terms, it's the idea that in many areas of life, 80% of the results come from just 20% of the effort. Of course, the rule does not always split perfectly into 80 and 20. The percentages can always vary, but the key idea is that there is often an imbalance. A small portion of something, 20%, can have a disproportionately large impact, 80%. For example, you might find that you only wear 20% of your clothes 80% of the time. Or having a healthy body is actually just going to the gym or exercising once a day, and that's like what, an hour out of your 24 hours. You get my point. So one way of implementing this rule to your personal finance is to set aside the first 20% of your monthly paycheck automatically to go towards savings or investment, or starting an emergency fund like what we have covered just now. And this is also known as the pay yourself method, where instead of paying all your bills first and then saving whatever is left over at the end of the month, you start the month by setting aside a portion of your income for your savings or your future self right after when you get paid. It's a simple yet effective strategy for building savings and ensuring you are consistently working towards your financial goals. And that's what I've been doing with my own savings back then, even until now. Instead of focusing on the amount I save, I strictly stash away 20% for my future self. No room for negotiation, and safe to say, is the best decision I've ever made, and I did not look back at all. It's always nice to know that you have 5 to 6 digit worth of cash sitting on the sideline whenever you need it. Which leads me to my next point, the best budgeting ratio for beginners. If you're already studying finances, then you have no doubt heard of this, the 50-30-20 rule. 20% of our income would go to savings, a big bulk of 50% would go to our needs, the things that we cannot live on without, meaning expenses like rent, groceries, utility bills, transportation, debt repayment, etc. And the remaining 30% we can spend on our wants. That would be things like social gatherings and lifestyle purchases. Basically, they are just your desires that are not necessary for daily living, but it helps to keep us going. For example, eating out, going to the cinema, or that sexy Samsung flip phone, or the latest iPhone Pro Max, whatsoever. This rule is great for starters, as this was how I began my personal finance journey. But over time, when your income increases, naturally the 50% needs section will decrease. So it's essential for us to allocate more money into savings and investments to increase our net worth. Whether or not the 30% wants remains or changes is up to you, because you know your personal finances and goal better than I do. Obviously, reducing is the best, but keep in mind that we also don't want to suppress ourselves too hard, or else we won't be able to sustain this budgeting habit. Remember, life is a marathon, not a sprint. Same goes to our financial journey. Of course, now I would do things a little differently because my lifestyle has changed a lot from how it was 3 years back then. I was a 9 to 6 employee back then, but now I run a business with more than 10 people in it. So my responsibilities and the way I use my money change a lot. But regardless, following this ratio is a very good place to start for most people. Lastly, we have investing. Remember in the last video I mentioned about inflation being a little silent thief in the background, raising prices all around us? Well, investing or making your money work for you is the solution to that. Getting rich is not all just about hoarding your money for a rainy day. It's about strategically diversifying and allocating it so that you can enjoy life's big moments, like that dream wedding or buying your first home, or even seizing that golden business opportunity that comes knocking at your door. But don't mix up investing and gambling. They are two totally different things. Gambling is usually taking excessive risk for very minimal return, and more often than not, you will end up losing money due to a hack called the house edge. Whereas investing is putting your money into legit and real assets or businesses so that you can enjoy a share of their profits in the future. See, it's not that daunting, right? Maybe too much Hong Kong drama would scare you off investing.
到自己跳樓嘅我就見唔少，包括埋啲拉叔。
咁我點同拉叔呢？佢啲真係博彩嘛。
有咩唔同啊？股票都係估估下㗎咋。
But it's not that case. So basically, we are actually aiming for a higher return than the average inflation rate, which usually hovers around 2% per year. But remember, this is just an average. Some crazy years like June 2022 saw inflation of over 9% year over year in the US. Yes, that can happen in volatile market conditions, but it will usually smoothen out over time. So now you can see, parking your money in a savings account with less than 1% interest, or even in fixed deposits offering about 3% might not be enough. And that's where different asset classes come into play, each with its own flavor of risk and reward. From the lower risk associated with money market funds, MMF, to the medium risk with stocks, funds and properties, all the way to the high stakes worlds of crypto and beyond. Feeling overwhelmed? Don't worry, we'll unpack all of this step by step in our next video, where we'll dive into different asset classes, explore their risks, and discuss how to balance your portfolio to align with your financial goals and also risk tolerance. And so there you have it, the 4 fundamental components that I follow to stay ahead in my personal finance game. I hope this video has given you a solid foundation to start managing your finances and hopefully your time more effectively. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe for more content like this, and please do leave a comment down below if this was helpful to you. Thank you for watching. Do check out the next episode if it's out. If it's not, check out the previous one and I'm sure you will learn something from it.